Isaiah, you did share with me that you grew up in Lautoka, most of your primary school and secondary school life. No doubt you had a lot of dreams and aspirations. If we can reflect on the early part of your life.
Yes, thank you, Vijay, for this opportunity. Back in my childhood days, I always been inspired to be an engineer. And yes, that's one something I always look forward to. And unfortunately, in this life, it's uncontrollable. Things can happen anytime. And yes.
When you were in Lautoka, you had that dream to become an engineer. And of course, after you finished from Natambua High School, you managed to get some opportunities that actually fit with your plans?
Yes. First of all, I got a scholarship under the multi-ethnic affairs, and I was qualified to go and study at the University of South Pacific, USP, where I studied 4.5 years and graduated with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. So that was one of the achievements I was able to get in achieving that goal.
You went into the program and then you also managed to get work. How did you end up in a situation where that you ended up getting charged?
Yes, peer pressures out there, distractions out there. That's a reality, and that's the truth. I got distracted. I followed the wrong crowd, and that's why I ended up doing what I did. And I was remorseful of my actions, and I paid a heavy price. And I thank God that it's all over now. I'm a free man, and I've served my sentence in prison.
Let's go back to the mistake that you confirmed that you now see that as a mistake that cost you part of your life to be in prison. About that decision that you made. At that time, you definitely thought it was not the right decision, or it settled in later in your mind?
Well, back in that time, I thought I was going to get away with it, to be honest. But then things didn't go the way I planned it. Then ended up I got caught, and after being convicted, I realized I made a terrible mistake, very terrible mistake that cannot be undone. But all I could do was just pay the price and move forward.
The counterfeiting of $100 notes, no doubt it is an offense under the Crimes Act. And what made you do that? Were you mass producing for a number of people, or what made you take that action?
Basically, I wanted to have a farewell party that evening. And because I was leaving one department in my the current company I was looking for, I was moving from one department to another. So while I was trying to host the party, I ran out of funds. I had no money at that time. And that's when the idea came in. I don't know how it came to me that time. It just came like that time, and I was really desperate. Because sometimes when you borrow money from people, you feel that embarrassment. People will start thinking bad of you. Oh, this fellow is asking for money. So all those thoughts started coming to my head that time. So what I did, this foolish idea came up of counterfeiting the notes, just so that I could get that party across the line, which was a terrible mistake from my end.
And you got caught on the same night?
Yes, correct. I got caught on the same night. Because it was a first-time mistake. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a real criminal like how some people classify others. It was just a foolish mistake that I did that cost me big time.
What was going through your head when you actually were caught on the wrong side of the law that night? You knew that the action was coming now, that something may happen.
Yes, it was shocking at first, as discussed, shocking to my system. I didn't expect to go down the wrong path. This silly mistake, after coming to that realization point, I realized that I lost everything. I lost my job. I got fired from my workplace. There was no second chance. And on top of that, in prison, when you have four walls around you, then no one's there, you feel cut off from the rest of your family. That's when I realized that I was deeply wrong and remorseful of my actions.
When you did commit the offense,
Yeah.
were you in a relationship? What about our parents? How was your family life?
Okay, family life. My mom passed away from type 2 major stroke, so I was still grieving as well. I just lost my mom. So back in 2018. On top of that, since I was growing up, I had no father figure. My father wasn't there when we were growing up as children, so I had no guidance when I was a young kid. I had to rely on my uncles and other family members, my brother-in-law, Nicholas Water. He was one of these old prison psychologists. Yeah, he acted like a father figure to me as well. So the thing is this: when you don't have a role model, someone to guide you in life, that's where you are vulnerable to making a lot of mistakes.
So when you had gone into, and we'll talk about your case, your remand first of all.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that, Isaiah. After that night that you were caught, doing what you had done, what happened next?
One, I was arrested first time for me to sleep in a cell. It was new to me, but it's all, life is experience. When you make a mistake, you will learn what's on the other side of doing the wrong thing. So that's what I went through. So it was my dark days. One, I got separated from my family, friends. I could not talk to anybody. As in, when you get convicted, so we are in the police station. In the police station, the laws are very strict. You cannot even touch your phone and all that. So that's when I realized I made a terrible mistake, and I wish I could rewind time.
Your freedom was being taken away already.
Correct. Freedom. That's correct. That's the right word. When your freedom is confiscated from you, that's where you realize. And I was in deep regret that night on when this incident happened.
So when you went into remand and you stayed there for 35 days while things were being further investigated.
Yeah.
You've never been in remand before that?
Never. It was my first time.
How old were you then?
I was 29 years old when I went into remand. And trust me, remand is it's worse than prison itself. It's I would say prison is not good for anybody, because it's where people who break the law go and serve their sentence. So basically, how I can say, it's hell on earth. And when your freedom is taken away from you, and you will see the real person comes out, the real you. That's what I experienced in remand.
After the remand, and you were, after many court dates, you were convicted and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, but given 18 months parole to be part of the sentence, to be 18 months of parole. And of course, the good behavior was also part of the process when you went into prison, now as a convicted prisoner. Can you tell us what was going through your head with the family outside? What was going through your head? What were some of the things that you started to experience as the prison sentence started?
Okay, prison is a different world. I would say this because the system in prison and the life outside is two different platforms. For example, in prison, there are certain things you can do. If the officers say you have to run, you have to run. You have to do this, you have to do this. So it's a place where people like me, you wouldn't wanna go in, because one is I like the treatment inside. You get a good sleep, you get free food and all that. But the part of being cut off from your family, that was the hardest thing to accept. Being cut away from your wife and your kids and your brothers and sisters, it's really tough in prison. It's like you're all alone in that battle. So it's like walking into a battlefield where you're on your own. And that's what I experienced in prison. It was a lesson learned. In prison, the only thing I could look forward to was counting down the days on my sentence. I made my own calendar, as calendars is not allowed inside. So we drafted our own calendar and we were just ticking off the days. We just couldn't wait to get out, because basically we just wanted our freedom back. I just wanted to be normal. In prison, it was a bit abnormal because there are certain rules and regulations that you have to abide by. And the police is always monitoring you. So that's an honest opinion from my end. And the food inside was not really as to the standards of the food I ate outside. So basically, it was quite harsh, but something I had to accept and move on.
Also, in the process, accepting that you made a mistake.
Yes, correct. Terrible mistake. It's in the past. I cannot undo it, but I just had to accept it, pay the heavy price, and move on in life. That was the only thing I could do.
You also talked about you tried very hard as far as good behavior was concerned. You worked very hard on that. What was your motivation and what were the challenges that came with it?
Hey, one of the motivation is while I was serving my sentence inside prison, my wife was pregnant, and I found out right on my birthday inside when she told me the good news that she was 2-3 months pregnant just before I got incarcerated. So I had high hopes of trying to get out in time so that I could support my newborn child. And this was my first child, and that was one of the motivations I was trying to do to get out of prison. Some of the challenges was inside prison, yes, temptations will come, distractions, things that are illegal. One thing that's illegal today is try not to get into a fight. Inside prison, when you go inside a dorm, you'll always have somebody there who will always want to be the alpha dog. So I tried avoiding myself getting into fights because I knew it would affect my early release. So I had to be a real disciplined boy inside prison in order to get out early.
Your motivation being that you are about to be a father. That's correct. And did that pay off for you?
Yes, it did. It did pay off. Since I was a very good boy inside prison, they decreased my sentence by 1/3. And then after applying for the employment release, my sentence got reduced further by 4.5 months. So within 7.5 months, I was out. Just before my wife gave birth in May, I was out by April to go and see the birth of my newborn daughter.
How was that feeling when you knew that you were going back home?
It was a big achievement. Big congratulations. One, we all have our dark days. We all make mistakes in life. So that's why when I was in prison, I also read a Bible verse. Sorry, I'm a Christian. That it says we all make mistakes. We are all sinners and we are fallen short of the glory. That is why people should not judge others. Because when you judge others, our Father in heaven will judge you also.